Hello, everyone, and welcome. I hope you're doing well. Yes, it's September. Can you believe it's already September? I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards, independent stamp demonstrator in Iowa. And today we're going to be making a fall card using one of our online exclusives, and that is the Scenic Pumpkin Patch. So we're going to be using that to make a fall card, and I hope that you will like it. And don't forget, in 2 days, you can start ordering from the mini catalog unless you're already a demonstrator. And then, of course, you've been able to pre-order. But everyone will be able to order on September 4th. And today, before we start stamping, I wanted to talk to you about my September card club. And you can sign up for the registration is open right now, so you can sign up for it. This star of the show is the Splendid Autumn paper, designer series paper that will be in the new mini catalog. You will be receiving the ephemera from the annual catalog saying something. There's a roll of ribbon and embellishments. There's over $27 of product in your September kit this month. And that is a little bit more than usual. You get 5 projects, as always, 4 cards and 1 3D. So just kind of a sneak little peek. This is my favorite card right here. And then we get some beautiful ribbon. And and here is the little treat box. So if you would like to register, because I'm giving product per Stampin' Up! Policy, I'm not able to put the link in this description, but you can email me at rusticbarncards@gmail.com. Or better yet, if you're not on my email list, then there is a link in the description where you can sign up to be on my email list. And then you always get all the events that I do. You get those early. So I advertise my events first to my email subscribers and then to everyone else. All right. Well, let's go ahead and turn the camera down so we can start stamping. Before we start our stamping today, just a reminder, there's just a few days left to take advantage for the 12 weeks of Christmas. It's absolutely free. You just need to be an email subscriber. And then each week for 12 weeks, we will send you by email a video and tutorial for a project each week for 12 weeks. And I have teamed up with my good friends, Sarah from Handmade After Dark, who lives in Australia, and Connie of Great Stamping with Connie, who lives in Canada, and of course myself, to bring you the 12 weeks of Christmas. So again, it's absolutely free. If you're already on my email list, if you already receive my emails, you don't need to do anything. But if you're not, you do want to sign up to receive my emails, and there is a link in the description. So again, that's absolutely free. Now, optional is if you would like the make and takes, where we will pre-cut the cardstock and pack everything up for you for those 12 weeks and ship them to your door. And then you can create them either along with us or watch the replay or at your own convenience. So if you do want the make and take, that is extra. But the 12 weeks of Christmas is absolutely free to receive that 12 videos, each week for 12 weeks. And all you need to do is just sign up to receive my emails. All right, there's more information in the description. Let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm using the Scenic Pumpkin Patch. It is not in the catalog. It is an online exclusive, which just basically means that it's in the store, but you have to go online to find it. We do not have any sentiments, so I will be pulling a sentiment from another stamp set. but we have like a little barn, a single pumpkin. You got 3. You have several pumpkins together, and up here also. And then you have the little tops to the pumpkins. These go like on top of the pumpkins, but I'm going to use them for birds today. So we're going to use our imagination, and I'm going to be using that for birds, but they're actually, you know, go on the top of the pumpkin. A little small fence. You have some leaves. I'm not sure what that is. You have trees, a cloud, more pumpkins, a larger fence, and some dirt or farm grass. We're going to be using 4 inks today. We're going to be using Pumpkin Pie, Early Espresso, Basic Gray, and Pretty Peacock. I'm also going to be using this Birch Wood 3D embossing folder. And on September 4th, you can order this. This goes with another stamp set from the mini catalog. But I have found that it is perfect to use with a lot of fall or winter cards. And we also will be using Pretty Peacock ribbon with a couple other things that I'll tell you as we go along. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with Pecan Pie. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then you will need a basic white layer. I will be sending out a tutorial with pictures and all the measurements for my card this week in my email. So then you can just print it and add it. I know a lot of you keep tutorials in a notebook or a folder. And then you can have this if you would like. That we're going to stamp on. And this is 3.5 by 3 1/4. Why I didn't make it square, I don't know. And then we're going to bring in just a scrap of basic white to stamp our sentiment in. And for this basic white, you're going to want the longer side, the 3.5 across the top. Now I'm going to bring back that basic white to do some stamping on. And we're going to be using, first we're going to be using Pumpkin Pie and Early Espresso and Basic Gray on this little 3.5 by 3 1/4. And remember, the 3.5 is across the top. So we're going to make a little, make a scene. Make a kind of an autumn scene. So I'm going to bring in that same stamp with the pumpkins on it. And I'm going to leave a little bit of white down here at the bottom. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this with just a partial pumpkin off my cardstock. Then ink this back up, and then I'll just kind of line it up. So we're going to make 3 rows. We're going to stamp 3 rows of pumpkins. And this one, I'm just going to put a small one right here. Then go ahead and ink this up. And then we'll kind of line that up. Now, if you wanted yours to be a little bit, you know, like maybe, because, you know, usually pumpkins are different variations of orange, right? Then you could always stamp off if you wanted to. And we're going to make one more row. And I'm going to stamp up here. I think it looks a little more natural when I kind of gives you that feel that the pumpkins are growing across that patch. They're growing further. All right, so we have 3 rows there. we're going to be, our card base is pecan pie. And we're going to be adding a fence to our little scene. And I tried using pecan pie for the fence, and I tried early espresso. But I kind of like early espresso. I like it. It's just a little bit darker for the fence, and I kind of like that. So we're going to use early espresso for our fence. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm looking at this because notice on one end you have a post. You have two posts in the middle also. But then you don't have a post here at the end because you can add on to your fence. So I am going to go ahead and ink this up in early espresso. And this post here I'm going to not show yet. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this. So I'm going to bring the post down a little bit below the pumpkins. And then I'm going to, about right there. So, you don't see the post here. You just, again, just assume that it just kind of, continues to go on. So then I'm going to go ahead and ink this back up in early espresso. And this time I am going to connect this post right here. Just like that. And I don't really worry if I don't get this exactly even with this one, because then it kind of makes this look like a gate. And gates are usually always a little bit higher, right? Okay, let's go ahead and close the early espresso up and bring in our basic gray. And we are going to make some birds flying. So as I mentioned, I think these really go, they don't go on top of these pumpkins, but they do on another one. But we're going to make them birds. So we're going to ink this up, and I'm using basic gray, and we're going to stamp off. We're going to stamp off twice. And then I'm going to stamp up here. Just like that. So it just kind of gives an illusion of birds flying across. All right, let's go ahead and lay this aside. Let's bring in some other pieces that we're going to need. So now that we have our scene finished, I'm going to bring in basic white for the inside of our card. And this is 5 and a quarter by 4. So we're going to place it with the long side at the top. And I'm going to bring in Pretty Peacock ink. And we are going to be using Autumn Leaves for our sentiment and our greeting, because we do not have any sentiment or greeting in our Scenic Pumpkin Patch. This is in our annual catalog. I believe it's on page 75. I'm thankful. With a grateful heart, Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. For all you do today and every day, to have you as a friend. This was in last year's, I think it was in the mini catalog, and it's carried over again this year. So it is a fall set. We are also going to stamp our sentiment here, and then our greeting for the inside of the card. So for inside the card, we're going to put to have you as a friend. So we're going to put on the outside, I'm thankful to have you as a friend. And then I am going to add some more pumpkins. So I'm going to open up our pumpkin pie. I'm going to place this right at the bottom. And then we can stamp I'm thankful. And that can go right here. I'm going to take my scissors and we're going to just cut around the sentiment I'm thankful. Just like that. Then I'm going to bring our pecan pie card base back in. And we're going to go ahead and add our layer right inside here. You can use whatever adhesive is your preference. I like the liquid Tombow. Just going to line this up the best I can. All right, I'll lay that aside. And then I'm going to bring in a Pretty Peacock and Pecan Pie. The Pretty Peacock is cut at 4 by 3 3/4, and the Pecan Pie is 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. So I'm just going to, I think it goes this way, but just to be sure. So see, it doesn't, I don't want it lined up like that. I want it lined up like this. So I'm going to go ahead and layer the pecan pie to the Pretty Peacock layer. If you have somebody who has a birthday in the fall, you could change this to a birthday card. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in Designer Series paper. And we are using the Iconic Celebration Designer Series paper. And the Iconic Celebration paper is only found online. So it's only in my online store. It's not in the catalog. And this is cut at 2 by 5 1/4. And then I have Basic White. And I have already embossed this with the Birch embossing folder. And this is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. All right, let's go ahead and, so these are both the same. They're both the same length. Okay, I just, the Designer Series paper is 2 wide, where the Basic White is 2 1/4. And then I am going to bring in my card base, and I'm going to adhere the Basic White first, since it is a little bit wider, so I'm going to add that first to my card base. And you could use either side that's embossed. You can just decide which you like the best. So we'll line this up. And then we will add this. And it's okay if there's a little bit of a space here between the two, or even if it overlaps a little bit, because we are going to cover that up with some Pretty Peacock ribbon. So what I want to do now is not worry about the center, but I want to make sure this is even, and then we have some pecan pie at the bottom showing also. And then I'm going to bring in our Pretty Pecan, or not Pretty Peacock, rather, Pretty Peacock ribbon. And I'm going to, first of all, make sure that it's a straight edge at the end. And then I'm just going to lay it right there. I'm going to do it all the way across. And it should be about 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to You can't see, but so it's just a tad more than 5.5, but I think that will be fine. And then I'm going to bring in glue dots because my liquid glue is not going to work. So I'm going to bring in some glue dots, and I am going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. Now, when I made this sample card, I added the glue dots to the ribbon. But you know what we're going to try? What we're going to do? We're going to place them right down the middle of our card where we want to hide that seam. And we'll see if that works out better. I kind of like to wrap my glue dots around like this. It's a little warm up here in my studio. I'm upstairs, so sometimes the glue dots get a little bit soft on me. And I think we'll put one more right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to just start right over here. Where I'm going to lay it right on top just to make sure how we have this. So, okay, so it looks like we go right. I'm going to go right to the edge of the card base. I'm trying to keep it straight. And there we go. Okay, I think this works better than trying to put the glue dots on the ribbon. Okay, now we're going to add our pretty peacock and our pecan pie. We're going to pop this up with some dimensionals. So I've added dimensionals, taken the backings off. And we're going to place this about in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to turn over our little scene that we made. And we're going to pop it up with dimensionals also. I've added 5 dimensionals, one in each corner, one in the middle. And then we're going to add this to our pecan pie layer and pretty peacock layer. Right like that. And then we're going to add dimensionals to I'm Thankful. And we will add this right up here in the corner. All right, now let's bring in some embellishments. And I'm bringing in the pecan pie and clear embellishments. And these are with the iconic celebration. They kind of go with the designer series paper that we are using here today. This is the designer series paper, the iconic celebration, and it does go with stamp set and dies that we're not using. We're just using the paper. And here's a partial pack because you can see that I have been using quite a bit of this paper. What I like about it, it doesn't have to be just for Christmas. You have like July 4th or celebrations with the fireworks. You have leaves. Here's like wine glasses. It could be Valentine's Day with the hearts. We have fall with the acorns and candles for birthdays. So this paper will be for a lot of different events, you know. So again, this is in my online store. It's not in the catalog. In our main stamp set that we're using today, Scenic Pumpkin Patch, is also online. All right, let's go ahead. We have clear or pecan pie. I think we will go with pecan pie. So you have small and then larger ones. And I think there's about 200. Get 200. So that is nice because I do love these. gems. I think I'll put one down here. Okay, here is our card today. I'm thankful to have you as a friend, and I am sure that you know someone that you could send it to. Now, here is my sample card. The only difference with my sample card over here than this one is that inside, I also added a little strip of designer series paper on the left-hand side here. So you could do that with your card, and I think it does just give it a little bit of a nice touch, doesn't it? So again, I am Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Thank you for watching. I will be back on Tuesday, September 10th. Don't forget to, if you're not an email subscriber, sign up for my email. It's free, and you'll know about all of my events first. You also will receive my free weekly tutorial each week. And the 12 weeks of Christmas will be starting in a couple of weeks. So you definitely don't want to miss out on those video tutorials. And if you're interested in my subscription card club for September, you can email me. Have a great week. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon, and bye for now.